Today, I'm sharing with you my winter skin survival kit. Skincare from head to toe, all focused on protecting the barrier, calming inflammation, reducing redness, and slowing moisture loss. If your skin feels like it's losing moisture faster than you can put it on, leaving your skin dry, tight, flaky, and suddenly red this winter, you are not alone. Mature skin doesn't just get dry. Our skin barrier actually loses its ability to hold onto moisture, and winter exposes this fast. As we age, oil production in our skin drops. Ceramide levels decline, skin cell turnover slows down, and this all means the skin barrier's ability to repair itself is just that much slower. Moisture doesn't just evaporate from our skin, it actually escapes through microgaps in the barrier itself. This is what we call Trans-Epidermal Water Loss, or TEWL. Winter air, indoor heat, hot showers, wind all contribute to trans-epidermal water loss. So if you're putting products on and you're still feeling dry, chapped, red, irritated, it's probably less about the product and more about your skin barrier. Winter skincare over 50 is all about holding moisture in. Using slightly more gentle cleansers is a great way to start protecting your barrier from the first step in your skincare routine. Often cleansers can strip our face of oils. What we want to do is choose cleansers that leave our oil and our barrier intact. I have a few to share with you. These are just examples. Please leave down in the comments any recommendations you have, starting with a micellar water. Micellar waters are very popular for taking off makeup. However, they can often leave the skin feeling a bit stripped. This one by the OUTSET does not. It has aloe, it has glycerin, there's no fragrance. It's also essential oil free, very gentle on the skin if you love a micellar water. Another cleanser that I can't stop talking about is WILDLING's, their Starnectar Barrier Protect Marshmallow Jelly Cleanser. And of course, balm cleansers. The one I'm using right now is Remedy. It's very gentle, takes the day off without stripping my skin. Another option is KIEHL'S. This is a new brand to me. I've been trying several of KIEHL'S products. This is their Ultra Facial Hydrating Cleanser. Now this gets a little bit foamy as you massage it into the skin, which is not my favorite texture for a cleanser, but it does not strip the skin. The key ingredients in the KIEHL'S cleanser are two of my favorites, squalane and glycerin, and there are no fragrances and no essential oils, which is key for me for keeping my skin barrier intact, especially in the winter months. I do not want fragrance and essential oils to irritate my skin. Another great step to help protect your barrier is using a Milky mist. Now I have two here. These are the two that I'm trying right now. This is by Violette France, their Bum Bum Milk. Super hyped these days, so I had to try it. Now, I don't believe this is fragrance-free, but it is essential oil-free, and it is a type of ferment with probiotics, so it works really well to protect the barrier. This is also so light that you can mist it throughout the day to help reduce that feeling of tight skin and keep your skin nice and flexible. Now, the Atto Barrier Mist, this was recommended by you all, and also a great fine mist. You can use it during the day, you can use it right after cleansing, kind of as a prep for your skin. I'm loving both of these. Another one that I've used in the past that I've enjoyed is Dr. Jart's Tiger Grass Mist. I'm not sure if it's still available. I do believe it did have a touch of fragrance in it. Again, I'll put that down below and a picture of it right here if it's still available. But the key to that particular formula is it had centella, which is calming and soothing. I always found that really helped reduce the redness in my skin in the morning. Next, I have some serums that are great for barrier repair, starting with the one by Dermalict. It actually says Rapid Repair Barrier Balancing Serum, and you can't get better than that. This is full of peptides, and it's a very light formula, so I put it on right after my mist. Another great serum for redness is Dew Skincare's. This is their Deliverance Serum. Now, I did not use this for quite a while. I had it on the shelf and I was just thinking it was kind of more for oily skin types, but honestly, this has some wonderful calming properties. It has water lily cannabidioids that calm the skin. This is a great anti-redness serum if your skin is irritated, and especially if you tend to be a little bit on the oily side and acne prone. So many of you have told me how much you love this serum if you have kind of an oily T-zone. And one I've talked about for years, this is the Depuffer by Dr. Idris. This has calming and soothing ingredients and is guaranteed over time, in my humble opinion, to reduce redness. I have used this when I've had this sort of really hot red flushing in the evening. It used to happen a lot about 2 years ago. It happens It happens rarely now, but every once in a while, I just kind of use this as a rescue balm for flushing. She also has a new product out that is so exciting. This is the Left Unread Reducer Serum. Left Unread Reducer Serum. Reducer Serum? Yes. Reducer Serum. That's a tongue twister for me. This is a brand new release. It's a calming and soothing serum with azelaic acid complex, which is known to help with redness. Honestly, sometimes they will give you an azelaic acid prescription strength if you have rosacea. Just a quick reminder that none of the conditions that I'm talking about here are medical conditions, redness or irritation or inflammation that are caused by dermatitis flares or rosacea or any other skin condition you may have. This is just basically flare-ups from dry skin caused by that trans-epidermal water loss and a broken skin barrier. But the azelaic acid in here is super calming. It's what I'm wearing today. I loved my first impression of this serum, and it's definitely going to be one that's going to be in my routine regularly, especially during these winter months to kind of keep that redness calmed down. Moisturizers for a strong barrier, starting with a new drop by SKINCRE. This is their Skin Mercy with 1% colloidal oatmeal. Colloidal oatmeal has been shown over the years in many studies to be so calming to red, irritated skin. I don't know about you, but I bathed my babies in it when they had the chicken pox. So this is great if you have red, irritated skin. This is what I'm wearing today. Let me just show you the texture. It is absolutely dreamy, just like all their formulas, and so soothing. I kind of had a little bit of redness through my cheeks this morning, and this just helped calm things down. Another new launch, this is by Revie Beauty. This is their Signature Skin Barrier Dream Cream. Love this. Now, I think I might have read that this has fragrance, but I don't detect any fragrance in it. So maybe I am misremembering, but I will put this down below. I typically do not like fragrance in any of my skincare. So I am not detecting it, but I will confirm. But I love this. I haven't had any issues with it, and it's just super comforting to the skin, and it just soaks in and leaves my skin feeling nice and plump and juicy, and is definitely great for barrier repair. The Astura Atto Barrier 365. I have been loving this. It's almost empty. I've been using it all fall and all winter. It was a new find during the fall extravaganza when I went in to see what was new at Sephora for skincare. Found this, heard you guys talking about it, and I love it too, along with the mist. Now, I just picked up the mist. I have only used this for like 24 hours, but the Atto Barrier 365, their cream is gorgeous. I use it as a hand cream. I use it as a nighttime cream. I'm doing the Tria laser and my skin's getting a little bit dry and peely. This has been perfect. Also, I wanted to share with you that I've been using this as a hand cream. I am looking for the perfect winter hand cream. Now, I've been using this and very happy with it, but it's not really designed for a hand cream, but maybe it doesn't need to be. But if you have a favorite winter hand cream, fragrance-free, if you don't mind, let me know. I've been using the Soft Services, their TheraPlush, but that has retinol in it. I like to cover it up with a more moisturizing hand cream. And so I've been putting the Atto Barrier on top of the TheraPlush to kind of lock in that moisture. And of course, we can't forget sunscreen. Great sunscreens to help protect your barrier and prevent trans-epidermal water loss, in my humble opinion, are mineral sunscreens. They're less irritating than the chemical sunscreens. And today and throughout most of this fall and winter, I have been using the OUTSET. It's empty. It will be in my empties coming up, but I just started using the No-Show Mineral Sunscreen from Color Science. That's what I'm wearing today with a touch of the Dr. Jart. This is their Cicapair sunscreen, but it also works as a beautiful kind of corrector, color corrector for redness. If you just kind of tap it in, it just kind of blends to a skin tint. I know Ellie Glines actually showed it as a makeup one year. She used it, and instead of wearing a foundation, she used this, kind of like a skin tint foundation. I really like it. This will last you forever, especially if you're just spot treating in areas where you have redness after you put your base sunscreen on. Now, I don't think I could get enough of this to count as an actual sunscreen. In fact, I know I can't because I've tried. I just kind of use this as a color correcting sunscreen. Also, Color Science has a color correcting sunscreen, but I think it's better, at least in my opinion, it's on the thick side. If you've had a procedure done, It's kind of nice to kind of cut down that redness when you're out and about, but it's a little bit too thick for me to wear on a daily basis. I much prefer the No-Show Mineral and a touch of the Cicapair if my skin is feeling a little flushed and red. All right, let's move on to a couple tips for your nighttime routine to help protect your barrier. You're going to want to probably scale back if your skin is irritated, red, cracked, flaky, and dry on your retinoids. But don't stop completely. See if you can go from one of the stronger ones that you're using to one that's a little bit more gentle, like a retinaldehyde, down to a retinol. See how that goes. If you can't tolerate it, obviously you can't tolerate it. Another kind of calming and soothing retinol that I found is the Retinol Infusion by Peter Thomas Roth. This is also a very gentle retinol. And if you have oily skin, you're not going to like this because it's a little bit on the oily side. You know how some of those retinols can kind of have that viscous feel? But this is a great choice if you have dry, flaky, red skin, but you still want to incorporate a retinol and you want something gentle. Exfoliation or no exfoliation during the winter? Honestly, it's going to depend. If your skin is really dry, cracked, and irritated, you're going to want to skip it. But if it's just a little bit flaky and dry, a gentle exfoliation can be just what you need. Now, the Dermalux Sleep Serum is the one that I use, but I often cut down in the winter to a single day. You can also use, instead of something with glycolic and salicylic and L-ascorbic acid, this is a pretty potent serum, you can cut down to a polyhydroxy acid. The KIEHL'S makes a really nice one. So you just kind of have to play with your skin's tolerance when it comes to exfoliation. I've also jumped over to using Good Genes. It's a lactic acid exfoliator, and for mature skin, it can be hydrating and also gently exfoliating. That's a great one to kind of rely on through the winter months. It's kind of one that I actually return to every winter. Let's quickly talk protecting your lips during winter. So challenging. I've been using the OneSkin at night and Edam lip balms during the day, and I have not had chapped lips all fall and all winter. This is a first for me. This combination has been perfect. If you have other lip balms that you love for winter, put them down in the comments. For me personally, everyone says just put Vaseline or just put Aquaphor. These work way better. Of course, the skincare of the face has got more exposure and more potential for trans-epidermal water loss, but let's not forget about the skin of the body. I don't know about you, but this is where my skin can get so dry and itchy in the winter months. And I think the biggest culprit for me is because I like hot showers. So if you can turn down the heat in your showers, your body will thank you. I also just kind of make a few tweaks, kind of depending on how my skin's doing. I use more gentle washes and probably stay away from fragrance products more than I typically do. This is the Comfort Cleanse by Soft Services, a great gentle body wash. Also, body washes with a little bit of oil. The Naturium Glow Getter is perfect for winter months. And exfoliation in the shower. I typically use an AHA/BHA exfoliator with jojoba beads, but honestly, the Necessaire, their body wash, is a little bit more gentle. So this is the one that I've been turning to lately. When I jump out of the shower, this has been the dynamic duo that I've been relying on. Ever since I did that review on the OS1 body lotion, I honestly can't skip this in my body care routine. The peptides in this and the skin rejuvenating benefits that I've seen from this are just like no other body lotion I've ever used. And I typically follow it up with the Korea cream. Now this is a urea body lotion. It's 10% urea, but urea at this percent can be quite moisturizing and very gently exfoliating. So this is by Soft Services, one of my new favorite finds for body care. If you're looking for something a little more budget, this is a wonderful dynamic duo. This is the Hydra Boost Body Gel Cream, fragrance-free, super hydrating and moisturizing, and pair it with the Prequel. This is their Barrier Therapy Skin Protectant Cream. Both of these are fantastic. If you want a one and done, you don't want to think about your body care, you just want to get out and put on one thing, iota. I'm going to read everything it has in here. It's got niacinamide, copper tripeptides, hyaluronic acid, squalane, ceramides, mandelic acid, maltobionic acid for smoothing texture, and prebiotics. This is your all-in-one. It has a slightly funky smell, but it's just the products in here. I love this. If I just want a no-brainer, just want to jump out of the shower, throw something on, and know that I'm doing a really good job at protecting the skin barrier on my body, this is the one I've been reaching for. Retinoids and exfoliants for the body. Big question, especially in winter, just like for our face. Do we exfoliate and do we use retinoids on the body during the winter? I say yes. you might want to change them up. The retinoid of choice that I've been using is by Soft Services, but this is a 0.25 retinol. I haven't gotten any skin irritation, but I'm considering picking up the necessary 0.1% because there are times throughout the winter that my body just starts erupting in sort of itchy, rashy patches. And I have used the necessary through those patches in the past, and I may just pick that up to have on the back burner in case this is just a bit too much. But I do believe that using retinols throughout the winter months is just as important as using them the rest of the year. Exfoliation for the body, I feel the same way. We get that dry, winter, flaky skin as long as we don't have an actual skin barrier rupture. I think using an exfoliant for the body is a great idea. You might want to back down to a PHA. This is the PHA Exfoliating and Hydrating Body Water Cream by the KIEHL'S. Great product. I will definitely be backing off the Multi-Acid Peel by Prequel. This is actually a little bit too heavy duty for my sensitive skin in the winter, but definitely a great body peel, body exfoliant. If your body can tolerate it, go for it. Now, I also will be backing off the 12% lactic acid. This is a little bit too much for me in winter too. If my skin, isn't itchy, isn't dry, isn't flaky, and seems to be intact, I probably will get away with these every once in a while, but I think I'm going to be reaching for the PHA Water Cream by KIEHL'S a little bit more often than these more potent exfoliants, at least in the dead of winter. Deodorant. I don't know about you, but during the winter months, my underarms get itchy, which is so weird, but they do, especially with shaving and having dry skin. So I've been using the necessary deodorant with absolutely no trouble. Now, I was using the number 7 Corpus, but it has some fragrance, so I've backed off, especially as my underarms have been a little bit on the itchier side. Now let's move on to some bonus tips for your makeup when your skin is looking a little bit red. Not irritated, but just a little bit red, and you want to do some color correction. One of my favorite color correcting palettes is by Stila. I've done a whole video on color correction, and I love this. I had a little mark here that left some post-inflammatory erythema. I don't know if I had a bug bite or if I had a pimple, I don't know. Anyway, it healed up, but it was a little red mark, and I used this palette to color correct it, and it's gone, along with the SKINCRE Sunscreen by Dr. Jart, a little bit of each of these products, and honestly, I didn't even use any foundation today. This is what I used kind of as my foundation with some blush and some mascara, and it just kind of helped reduce that redness and flushing that I had along my cheeks. Another option is using a color correcting foundation. Now, this is just one I happen to have. I love the way this looks on the skin. It's very similar to the Dr. Jart Cicapair, but this contains fragrance. So many people love this though. If you have rosacea, this is often the one that people tell me that they use to help color correct that redness. So if you don't mind a little bit of fragrance in your makeup, this is a great option as well. Just a quick reminder, everything I talked about today is more cosmetic care. If you actually have a skin condition that's causing itching, drying, flaking, and irritation, I have several friends, including my husband, who got dermatitis recently. And I don't know if you saw recently, Bethany Frankel was out of the country and she got a bacterial infection, and kind of reminded me to take your own pillowcases when you travel. You know what your skin can tolerate as far as detergents, etc. And so that's just a little tip that I wanted to add in here, because dermatitis during the winter is often a lot worse than it is the other months because of the skin barrier breakdown. Irritants get into our skin and just wreak havoc. So my poor husband is dealing with it. I know Des over at Beauty by Des had some issues, and also my friend Tina has had some skin barrier breakdown and issues too. So if you have actual skin dermatitis, skin barrier breakdown to the point where you have red and raw areas, none of this applies. You need to see your dermatologist first. My dermatologist always tells me, stop everything. If I get a little patch of dermatitis, she's like, stop everything. And then I'm like, oh, and so even makeup. And she said, even sunscreen. So literally stop everything and slowly add back in so you can figure out what it is that's irritating your skin. Sometimes I figure it out, sometimes I don't. Anyway, just wanted to remind you, if you do have any skin condition or a medical condition with your skin and it's irritated, flaky, and really unhappy, definitely go see your dermatologist. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. And if you have any recommendations in any of these categories, as always, put them down in the comments, especially hand lotions. I need a great hand lotion. I'm not saying that the Atto Barrier Cream isn't fantastic. Maybe you guys are using this as a hand cream too, but I always like to carry like a small hand cream in my purse because my hands and fingernails get so dry just out and about. I use those flip top gloves, so I'm not always protecting the ends of my fingers, especially my cuticles. So thank you so much for watching and wishing you all a skintastic day.